Well, hi YouTubers, hi. I'm back with the 6 books in isolation, and it's now the second lot of isolation. Today's the 6th of November. God, it's my birthday soon. And I'm locked down for it. So, I'm trying to continue with the project. If you told me when I started this project, when the first lockdown happened, that I'd still be doing it, near the end of the year, I probably would have laughed. So, but anyway, here we are. Here we are. So since I can't go to all these lovely countries, I've just been reading about these lovely countries. Jojo Moyes, who wrote Me Before You, and the book of Still Me, the brand new novel Follow Me Before You and After You is in the back of the book. I didn't actually read it because I haven't actually read the sequels to Me Before You. So I read Me Before You. So Jojo Moyes, Paris for One and Other Stories. Right, Paris. So it's not just set in Paris, obviously, a few of them are. So this collection of these lovely 11 short stories, okay? And it's really, really good. Jojo Moyes has really kind of got this knack of, even in short stories, kind of putting you in the moment. They are so, so good. One thing I like about this book is that they're so, so different. Is that some of these stories are women kind of accepting and resigning themselves to their fate, people who with regret, people who just seize control. Now the first one was interesting, okay, actually it's called Paris for One, because I am a solo traveller. I go abroad by myself. And the first one concerns a story from Nell, who basically she works for an insurance company. She's a little bit on the boring side. She decides on a whim to book a holiday in Paris, 3 nights for her and her boyfriend, who basically bails on her, so she goes by herself. Okay, which people's reactions to it. Okay, well, as a solo traveller. Okay, all right. This bit here, because I'm not the kind of woman Nell is. Nell's mother Lillian was fond of telling anyone who would listen that Nell was not the adventurous type. She's not the type to travel, not the type of girl who can rely on her looks, and now occasionally, if her mother thought Nell's out of her earshoot, no spring chicken. Right. That's no growing up in a small town. Everyone thought they knew exactly what you were. Nell was the sensible one, the quiet one who carefully researched any plan and could be trusted to water your plants, mind your kids, and not run off anyone's husband. Oh yes, so Nell decides on a whim. Let's go to Paris. She's never been, well, properly. She wants to go to Paris with her boyfriend, okay? And this bit here is when she's talking to her boyfriend Pete, who's just obnoxious, and I got this. This is why I solo travel. I don't have to think about what anyone else wants. I do what I want, okay? I do what I want. I love it, okay? Right. Right. You did what? You've been drunk, she remembered now, and blinked slowly as if believe. You want me to get to Paris? Asked, she said, as he fumbled the buttons of her dress. A long weekend in Paris. I thought it'd be fun, you know, go crazy. The girl's never had a wild moment in her life. She checked out hotels and found the one just behind Rue de Rivoli. It's 3-star but has a 94% satisfaction rating and it's a low crime area. And the only thing they said he worry about is bag snatcher, so I get one of those. But he brought me a ticket to Paris. He's shaking his hair flopping over one ear. So one eye. Then he said, sure babe, why not? Nice one. Yeah. So she either goes home, lies, or just does it solo. But it's just all offends, okay, we're having a good time, okay, because I thought they're worried about her, because Nell's not the kind of person, okay, who does anything adventurous. You're like, well, hey. Right, and this bit here really recording me, because being a solo traveller, I'm used to this, okay? Okay. Nell doesn't think she's ever seen a woman sitting alone in a restaurant, apart from the time when she went on a sales trip to Corby, and a woman sat alone with a book by the ladies and ate 2 desserts instead of a main course. When our lives, girls eat out in groups, mostly cover at the end of a long night's drinking. Older men might go alone to bingo to a family event, but women just don't go out and eat by themselves. But she looks around her now and chooses a piece of crusty French bread. She sees that she is not the only single diner. There's a woman on the other side of the window, a jug of red wine on a table, smoking a cigarette as she watches the people of Paris bustle by. As a man in the corner reading his paper, spoon and fork pours something into his mouth. Another woman, long hair, a gap on her teeth, is chatting to a waiter, a collar high around her neck. No one is paying him any attention. No relaxes, and relaxes a little, unwinding her scarf. Now, I found this myself, being a solo traveller. So people do look at you as going in by yourself. I just have a book with me. One time though, because I know I keep like a travel journal. Just when I was in Belgium, I was in like a restaurant, really, really nice. Just writing like my journal, and I was getting really, really good waiter service. Okay. And I realised later, oh my god, they probably thought I was a food critic. Thought I was a food critic. And I was just writing my diary, but I did give them a really good review on TripAdvisor. Okay, so because it was really nice food. So yeah, Belgium's great for food, by the I did love the steak over there. I love that steak, chocolate and beer. Lovely. Lovely. So she's seen Paris. Okay, she meets this guy and who at a exhibition for Frida Kahlo, and she starts to live whilst she's there. Okay, she starts to live. She starts to experience Paris more. She starts to buy a very, very expensive dress. She becomes Parisian. She kind of embraces the kind of independent. You know, she does actually meet this guy. Okay, who's a struggling aspiring writer, of course. Okay, and I like the fact that it keeps juxtaposing with the life in Brighton. Okay, and Pete and her new life. And you can see this within 3 days, okay, her outlook's totally changing. She's kind of embracing it a little bit more. Embracing this life. And I love that. I absolutely love that. Right. It's but here's flashing back to England. Okay? Right. The lanes of Brighton are heavy, fit with catcalling hen parties, groups of highly groomed young men who eye speculatively, not having yet toppled over into drunken incoherence. Magda, Trish and Sue are walking together in a row, even though it forces people off the pavement trying to work at the location of the bar that Magda heard as happy hours if you are girls visiting alone. Right. Oh heck, Magda says, reaching for her purse. I forgot my phone. We're safe at the hotel, you only get drunk and lose it again. Right. So what if I meet someone? How I get his number? You get to write on your Pete. Pete Welsh. Right. Magda marches up to him confused. Why are you? Aren't you meant to be in Paris? Right. Pete rubs the top of his head. The amount of alcohol he has consumed may be showing his Rolodex of excuses. Oh yeah, that was kind of tricky getting away from work. And where's Nell, says Sue. Oh my god, where's Nell? So they're so worried, okay, about Nell. About Nell, okay, who's obviously just so introverted, okay. She can't have this, you know, she might be in danger, okay. That they basically force Pete to get over to Paris. Even though Nell's just living her best life at this point, okay. Buying fashionable dresses and just enjoying it. And then Pete comes along, okay, because it's kind of like, it's interesting, okay, how these people seem to think they know what's best for her. I mean, they may be her best friends. It's supposed to be like this girl's weekend in Brighton, but they don't know what's best for her. Okay, they don't. They're showing their concern, but I'm like, just leave her be. Leave her be. You know, it's weird, okay, how your friends pigeonhole you as well. You know, I mean, hey, you know, it is kind of like a gesture. Okay, but this bit here. This is from Magda. You left her to go all the way to Paris by herself. What were you even thinking? I didn't ask to go to Paris, Pete said. No, you did, but then you just say no, says Sue to his left. You just say, no, now, I do not want to go to Paris with you. It's really simple. Right. Pete pulls up to the side. Where are you guys taking me? Shut up, Pete, said Trish. You don't get the right to talk. I'm not a bad guy. His voice emerges as a whine. Said Trish. The old I'm not a bad guy talk. I hate the I'm not a bad guy talk. Makes it really stabby. How many times have you heard the I'm not a bad guy talk, Sue? Here you go. Basically, they force him to go to Paris. Very, very expensive flight. Okay. And just for basically one day, he hasn't changed. He's still basically in his own clobber. And she just doesn't want to see him. She just walks away. She just walks away. Okay. See Fabian and embraces basically the new her. And I liked it. Okay. Right. Alright. Right. Nell sees the receptionist out the corner of her eye. She's looking at him. This is Pete. The way she would look at something nasty. Guess had thrown something into her hallway. He hasn't shaved, she thinks. He hadn't even shaved. They don't do room service here, only breakfast. What? They don't do room service at this hotel. Everyone does room service. What kind of hotel is this? Nair doesn't dare look at Marianne. She works at the hotel's face. Because they don't, because why would you want to eat in when you're in Paris? Basically, she ditches him. Basically, like, she breaks up with him. She goes to work on herself, okay, and then she sees Fabian later on. Fabian, who's the artist, whose dad owns a boat, and she gives him advice, set up an industry, and then she starts writing this book. And yes, it is corny and it's cliched, and it's 3 days, and I loved it. You know when you want to become a film or a little like TV show, make this one happen. I want it to happen. I loved it. I loved it. Okay. In part of me that thinks, okay, it would be nice, okay, she just embraced solo living and not met Fabian. But at the same time, yeah, it's corny and cliche, and it's Paris, and romance in Paris, and Paris in the rain, and all the Paris cliches. Yes, I know the Paris. Yeah, I know the cliche of Paris, okay? It's just, like, not too far from the UK, obviously, and I have been there. Right, so, a happy, positive love story, and then there's the melancholy story. The ones, okay, there are people who will just put up with it, Okay, it says love in the afternoon. Okay, this is right. This bit here. Sarah nods. Alright, this is when Sarah's at a hotel with her husband. Sarah nods. She hasn't minded waiting. It's given her time to acclimatise. She had not expected to be here today at a 4-star Jacobean hotel in deepest Suffolk with rolling manicured lawns and a dress code. She expected to be home sorting through the school uniforms and uploading the detritus of lunch boxes and gym bags, perhaps doing a supermarket run. Usual weekend routine. Monaco swept into the kitchen shortly after breakfast, their children hovering behind him, and announced theatrically that she should put down her rubber gloves and put on some makeup. I'm whisking you away from it for the night, she stared at him. For your anniversary, their daughter added. We know all about it, said Seth the youngest. Dad did it as a surprise. She, Sarah, put off her rubber gloves, but our anniversary was weeks ago. Well, happy belated anniversary. Yeah, so her husband, okay, her husband Doug had basically forgotten everything, okay, and suddenly whisked it off to Paris, and she's okay because she's a bit of an unhappy marriage. Husband doesn't get it, and then she actually just called him out on this, okay, in this. For years, Doug, you've forgotten my birthday and our anniversary and Valentine's Day, and now you make this one grand gesture. Suddenly it's all okay. One DVD on a queen size bed, and I'm to forget it all, okay. Right. So basically, and then, so she's just musing over her marriage, musing over how unhappy she really is. Okay. Right. And then she finds out, okay, that her husband didn't book it. It's basically through his company. It's like a corporate thing. Okay. You know, they can get like a weekend at a swanky hotel for nothing because he's a dick. Okay. Right. 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 She's sitting on the bed where Doug eventually emerges. She glances at a champagne bucket, then at her. He looks burdened, beaten. Thinks about how hard it has worked these last few months. What's this? She considers this for a moment. Special offer. Just a funny thing comes with the room. Right. I don't know, it seems to just resigned to it. It seems to kind of like respect what her husband does, but it seems kind of resigned to her fate about how like loveless her marriage is. And some of these are just so funny. So funny, okay? I just want to hear, okay, called Crocodile Shoes, okay? There's so many short stories, I'm just picking my favourite ones. This one is of this woman, okay? Right. And she is just basically, she's a working mother. She's very busy, okay? And it turns out that when she's at the gym, okay, with all like these slummy, yummy mummies, the slow rangers and all that, right? Like this bit here, okay? Right. She's peeing her way out of a swimsuit when the yummy mummies arrive. Glossy and stick thin, they surround her, talking loudly, rubbing expensive moisturiser into shiny legs, completely oblivious to her. Right. They're women who design the gym wear, perfect name, the time for coffee. She imagines her husband was calling a Roop or Tris, who toss envelopes containing awesome bonuses onto their Koran kitchen tables and sweep their wives into bed before booking their popular dinners out. Right. Gym membership is luxury. They really can't afford these days, but Sam is tied into paying for it for another 4 months. And Phil tells her she might as well make the most of it. It does a good, he says. He means it does it both of them good for her to get out of the house and away from him. So while Sam is at this very swanky gym, okay, right, her bags, no, it's like, okay, the woman, a slow ranger, takes the wrong bags. And so she goes to work at a corporate desk wearing, okay, these very expensive Louboutins, okay, and people go, ooh, shoes. She basically gets us a bonus with these shoes. She essentially, the woman who is negotiating with, it just falls in love. Miriam Price, okay, right. And she's a makes a friend because these shoes. This pair, okay, of Louboutins. I don't wear designer shoes. Hey, I kind of wear high heels anymore. Thanks to the foot. Right, this bit here. Megan Price hands it back almost reluctantly. You know, you always can tell a proper shoe. My daughter doesn't believe me, but you can tell so much about someone from what they wear. I tell my daughter exactly the same thing. The words are out of her mouth before she even knows what she's saying. Here's what, I hate negotiating like this. Do you have a window for lunch next week? And the two of us get together and thrash something out. I'm sure we can find a way in. Right, yes. Right. So basically, yeah, these shoes give her mojo back. These magical crocodile shoes. Perhaps the wine is made of giddy. She cannot remember the last time she approached him like this. They gaze at each other. Don't say about shoes like this, she murmurs. He thinks, why not made for standing up? Yeah. So, right, then she gets her shoes back. Okay, gets a lovely fat bonus. Okay, she's going to buy a nice, gorgeous pair of, gorgeous heels. So, as I can't wear heels anymore, so I didn't really wear them when I did. So, I kind of miss them sometimes, though. I don't miss the pain, but I miss the kid actually made you feel, we kind of feel good. Anyway, I have one set in Paris, okay, so Dustin, my foot, which I keep talking about because it's full of metal, is Honeymoon in Paris, okay? So Honeymoon in Paris, this young lady has married a man who is a bit older than her, significantly wealthy, has taken her to a Paris region honeymoon, and he's pretty much abandoned her, okay, for work, right? This bit here. As I said, okay, Jojo Moyes really has a way of just placing you in the moment. You're not just reading about these characters. You feel like you're kind of alongside them and through this adventure with them. It's incredible. It doesn't over-describe. Okay. This bit here. Someone throws a paper airplane and she watches it travel its course through course, buoyed by passing winds until it grows too small as lost from view. Somewhere down there among the elegant house-manned boulevards and the tiny courtyards, the classically laid-out parks, and gentle undiluted banks of the Seine, is her new husband. The husband who had informed her 2 days ago into their honeymoon that he was really sorry, but he was going to have to meet someone that morning for a work thing. Yeah, so basically she's alone in Paris on her own honeymoon. She is miserable. And Liv is just really, really unhappy. She's unhappy at the situation. Okay? Right. And the fact is, okay, she's also really anxious, okay, about her wedding because she is very, very young. She just felt she rushed into it, and she did actually rush into it. Right. Are you the only person I know who just did things on the same day? Who did 2 things on the same day? I don't know, Liv. It just all seems so fast. But it feels right. We're so happy together, and I can't imagine him doing anything that makes me angry or sad. He's Liv blue smoke green towards the strip light. He's perfect. Well, he's definitely lovely, but I can't imagine you out of all people getting married. You were the one who always swore you wouldn't. I know. So Liv is just really, really unhappy. She is unhappy in Paris, and it's kind of juxtaposed, okay, with this other story going on earlier on in Century K about this artist and his relationship with his wife. We were in a similar situation. He was an artist, and essentially she was like kind of sensible, and they got married, and she is very, very kind of juxtaposing these stories, okay? So, and I like the fact that, okay, this is actually true, is also the different kind of attitudes to life and in like Europe, okay, to relationships. It's big, okay, when she's looking at his painting. And this painting caused a huge scandal when it was shown enormous. Why was a lady wearing her clothes and a gentleman were dressed? Why do you think, young sir? Like the fact that 8-year-old French children were expected to debate public nudity. She had the respect at which the attendees addressed them. Again, she wished David were here because she knows he would have felt like this too. Right. Right, so, but then, okay, this painting my first thoughts, but the fact is, okay, yes, they sort it out, okay, they get together, they, and David realises that he's got to do better in his marriage, and she needs to kind of work on herself too. But I think my favourite story, maybe because because it was just so restrained in how it's done. It's called The Christmas List. It's actually the last story. Now, the reason why is that it is a very, very self-contained world. Most of it takes place in a taxi, of all things. It's brilliant. Just because the whole kind of setup, you just love. Maybe because, obviously, I'm a Londoner, the accent probably gave that away. I love the fact, okay, that this woman is just trying to get everything together for Christmas. And yet, the taxi driver just basically becomes, I don't know, I see him as like the guardian angel. This was Love Actually, okay, he played by Ron Atkinson, because I did say in Love Actually that Ron Atkinson was a guardian angel, an actual angel. He meant to disappear, okay? Right, so this bit here, okay, right, this is Diana, who's basically trying to shop for her husband David for Christmas, okay, right, like, it starts, okay, with pink fritillary. Only David's mother would insist on a perfume no one had ever heard of. Right, sorry, her name is Chrissy, not Diana. Diana's name of the mother. Chrissy had walked the length of West End, and each department store told her, I know I don't stock that, try. Right. As she pushes her way through the crowd, she begins to wonder if Diana has done it deliberately, so she can say with a sigh on Christmas Day, oh, David said you would give me perfume. Still, this is nice, okay? So she goes to Selfridges, she goes to Liberty, she goes basically in Thailand for Oxford Street, okay? And then, okay, she gets in a taxi with this guy because she's trying to find this perfume, okay, for her mother-in-law. And it's just so, she's so strange in a relationship, and she's so depressed at Christmas, okay? So, right, let's be here, okay? Right, Liberty, I think, she holds her bags under the back seat and sinks into it gratefully. She's never been in the back of a London taxi without feeling vaguely as if she'd been rescued from something. You think? A particular perfume for my mother-in-law. Liberty is my only hope. Your husband can't help. He doesn't really do shopping. So I've raises an eyebrow. There's a whole world in that raised eyebrow. Then our phone pings. Did you pick up the dollars on my New York trip? Right. Yeah. So, yeah, so she bonds with this thing. And I just love the fact, okay, it all takes place in a taxi. It all takes place in a taxi. Right. This bit here. My mother-in-law doesn't like me very much and is staying with her for 10 days, along with her other son who speaks in grunts and I keeps the remote control his trouser pocket. Poor just hide out in the kitchen most of the time. Doesn't sound like much fun. Sorry, I'm a Grinch. Actually, I've had a large white wine, which means I'm saying what I think. Don't usually then say what you think. Right. Tell you what he says. My wife has a friend who works for Liberty. I call home. What's his perfume called? Right. Right, to kind of eavesdrop, his voice on the telephone is low intimate. Before he rings off, he laughs at some shared joke. She and David have no shared jokes. It takes a taxi driver. We're using the skills of a taxi driver because taxi drivers know the knowledge. They know London in ways that we just definitely don't. To wake up to a relationship, how unhappy she is. Just to wake up. Okay? Right. Right. And the bit I say okay, but a whole kind of guardian angel is this bit here. Right. His eyes meet hers, and I tell you what, I turn the meter off. And he does. You can't do that. Just did. I do it once a year, every year. The year's lucky recipient. Tell you what, we do the perfume, then we go back by the tea shop, and you back your station afterwards. A little Christmas present. Ah, don't. I was trying to put a smile back on that face. And she starts to cry because someone actually gives a damn. Okay? Right. And she's doing all this for her husband, David, and his oldest family, and Chris has had enough, and then this is the moment it snaps. I actually cheered. I read this on the tube and I almost cheered. Okay? Right. I asked you specifically to get the Waitrose Christmas pudding. You bought the Marks and Spencer Christmas pudding. I've just had to go to Waitrose myself. I used to take it so long, and it had sold out, and I have no idea what we're going to do about this. And she's had it. She's absolutely had it. She's got this passport with her, okay? Because, right. Passport with her because she got those dollars earlier on. Contrived coincidences. She just told you she's going to go see her friends abroad. She's basically going to leave her husband. Going to have the Christmas she's always wanted. She's going to be happy. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So, yeah. I'll drop you off King's Cross, get the Piccadilly line to Heathrow, jump onto a flight, and that's actually true. That's well researched. I'd smile at that. Yes, you can do that. She actually did research to London Underground. And what's for the book? Someone said, okay, you get a central line to Heathrow, and I'm like, you don't get a central line to Heathrow, it doesn't go to Heathrow. So, the Piccadilly line does. So, and then Chrissy wasn't giving the vouchers to her driver and Jim, and it's brilliant. It is just so brilliant because it felt so Christmas. So, Jojo Moyes' Paris one, I liked how different these stories are. I like how fun they are. I like how sad they are. I love this book. It really kind of puts you, and as someone said at Christmas, it puts you in a Christmas mood, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I would like to, a few of them, what's based on relationships. Okay, it's okay to be single. It's okay to solo travel. But I really enjoyed it. We're talking about 20 minutes on this one, so short stories will do that for me. So I recommend Jojo Moyes' Paris one. I've been talking now for like 20 minutes. I'm signing off here. Loves to you all. 60 books in isolation, still going on. Bye now.